Ladies and gentlemen, as I said virtually, a platform that gives shareholders relevant information on the virtual AGM, including the following. 1. Notice of annual general meeting with the notes attached. The 2019 annual report, proxy forms for shareholders, and guidelines on how to vote and make comments. We are encouraging all shareholders to participate online by logging onto gcbbankagm.com. Please enter your unique token to access the meeting online. Use the chat box interface to make your submissions. Your questions would be sent to the shareholder right manager, which we'll be referring to as the SRM, who would facilitate the messages between your good selves and the board panel. The registrar and the support team are available online to assist all shareholders. Please make use of the chat room feature and vote button on the broadcast screen to participate fully in the meeting. Since this is a new system to all of us, we will make time for a representative from Corporate Affairs to explain the voting procedure to shareholders. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with the formal business of the day, I would like to remind you that there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions, after which the relevant motion will be put to the meeting. All questions and recommendations in respect of the agenda and shareholder concerns can be routed through the chat box at the right bottom of the broadcast screen for the board and management to address. In the unlikely event that your question is not answered directly, the bank will post the answers on the website. To ask a question or second a motion, please follow the chat as a guest. Type in your name in the space provided, tick the terms and conditions, type your question, and submit your question. To second a motion, just type second and submit. Those physically present, however, can mount the podium and proceed with their questions. The notice of the meeting is on page 5 of the annual report. With your permission, ladies and gentlemen, I shall now call on the secretary to read the notice of the meeting.
GCB Bank Limited. Notice is hereby given that the annual general meeting of GC Bank Limited will be held at the GCB head office High Street and streamed live online gcbbankagm.com, the bank's social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter, and also on GTV on Thursday, 30th July 2020 at 10 a.m. to transact the following business. 1. To consider and adopt the financial statements of the company for the year ended 31st December 2019, together with the reports of the directors and auditors thereon. 2. To declare a dividend for the year ended 31st December 2019. 3. To re-elect the following directors who are retired by rotation: Mr. Francis Atta Collins, Mr. Osmani Ayuba, Alhaji Hassan Adam Yakubu, and Mr. Edward Prince Amoitia Young. 4. To re-elect the following directors: Mr. Jude Kofi Atta, the board chairman, Mrs. Lydia Issa, Mr. Nick Amatefio, and Nana Ama Ayinswa Asara III. And 5. To authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Dated this 16th day of June 2020 by order of the board, signed Ama Ajiman Kusiapo, Company Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Amma. With your permission, ladies and gentlemen, I shall now read my report. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome you once again to the annual general meeting of your bank and to present to you on behalf of the board the director's report for the 2019 financial year. Ladies and gentlemen, last year when we reflected on the future of your bank, we were clear on our strategic pathway, that is the pursuit of transformation underpinned by digitalization. This strategy was aimed at creating new market space by securing a greater share of the unbanked market, whilst consolidating our traditional banking space and securing a defensible market niche in the fast-changing market dynamics. I'm happy to report, in the pursuit of our agenda, we invested in a cutting-edge mobile wallet technology, resulting in the launch of an industry-first product, which we named G-Money, a mobile money wallet backed by equivalent cash, which works across all networks. We are very optimistic this will enable us access market space, which hitherto was not available to us, and increase our market share of deposits. Ladies and gentlemen, the game changer in this product is its capacity to enable us to provide a platform for cash collection and movement of funds for customers in both the private and public sectors. We invested in an interactive teller platform to automate the front office for improved and secured services, and completed the centralization of our back office processes. These projects will no doubt enhance operational efficiency and provide better service to our customers. Your bank also launched a new internet banking portal with enhanced business solutions. In all these initiatives, we worked closely with our digital advisors, and we will pursue the objectives we set for ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, a year after the completion of the cleanup and recapitalization exercise in the banking sector by Bank of Ghana, the performance of the sector has improved considerably, and the implementation of the new corporate governance directives issued by the central bank as part of the reforms has had a positive benefit for the governance structures of banks. During the year, the central bank expanded its financial sector reform program to the non-banking financial institutions sector. On 31st May 2019, Bank of Ghana revoked the licenses of 347 insolvent microfinance companies. The licenses of 23 insolvent savings and loan companies and finance houses were also revoked in the year. This arguably concluded the cleanup of the banking and the larger financial services sector, which began in 2017. The exercise paved the way for the development of a more resilient financial sector. The reforms have brought improvements in the key performance indicators of the industry, notably in earnings, liquidity, and capital adequacy ratios. Total assets of the banking sector increased to 129 billion at the end of December 2019, representing a 22.7% year-on-year growth. The significant growth of 22.2% in deposits to 83.46 billion in 2019 indicates renewed confidence in the banking sector. The industry's capital adequacy ratio stood at 17.5% at the end of December 2019, above the 13% minimum regulatory benchmark. Asset quality improved significantly, resulting in improved non-performing loans ratio from 18.2% in December 2018 to 14.3% in December 2019, reflecting an enhanced credit quality and loan portfolio. Let me now highlight some of the key global and country-specific events that shaped the year under review. Trade tensions between the USA and China and peculiar stress in key emerging market economies such as India, Brazil, and Turkey weighed on global economic activity, especially manufacturing and trade in 2019. These factors slowed down global growth to 2.9% in 2019 from 3.6% in 2018. The developments in the global economy had its own impact on the Ghanaian economy. Ghana's GDP growth rate for 2019 was 6.5% compared to 6.3% in 2018. The growth was underpinned by significant gains in the information and communication sector and the mining sector. Headline inflation trended downwards from 9.4% in December 2018 to 7.9% in December 2019. Interest rates on the money markets increased slightly across the various maturities of the yield curve. The 91-day Treasury bill rate inched up to 14.7% in December 2019 from 14.6% in 2018. Interest on the 182-day instrument also moved up to 15.2% from 15% over the same period. The weighted average interbank lending rate declined to 15.2% in December 2019 from 16.1% in December 2018. In a similar trend, ladies and gentlemen, average lending rates compiled from the banking sector marginally declined to 23.6% in December 2019 from 23.9% in December 2018. The Bank of Ghana policy rate dropped from 17% in December 2018 to 16% in December 2019. The Ghana cedi depreciated by 12.9% against the US dollar in 2019, compared with 8.4% depreciation in 2018. Against the British pound and euro, the Ghana cedi cumulatively depreciated by 15.7% and 11.2% respectively. The depreciation of the cedi was largely due to demand pressures and heightened risk aversion by non-resident investors. Ladies and gentlemen, the new coronavirus outbreak, which was first reported in China towards the end of 2019, has spread rapidly worldwide, affecting over 199 countries. The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic has been catastrophic on economies and businesses. Ghana projects a significant slowdown in GDP growth, significant shortfalls in petroleum revenues and import duties, and tighter financing conditions in the domestic financial sector. In addition, we anticipate enormous negative impact on foreign direct investments, on foreign direct investment inflows, the hospitality industry, agriculture, trade, and the industrial sectors. Ghana's GDP growth rate is therefore projected to decline from 6.5% to 2.6% in the baseline scenario and to 1.5% in the worst-case scenario in 2020. The board of your bank recognizes the impact of these developments and accordingly initiated an evaluation of the anticipated effects on our business. Consequently, we put in place measures to combat the effects of the pandemic and ensure the sustainability of our business during these unusual times. The health standards recommended by the World Health Organization and the Ghana Health Services have been properly reflected in the way we do business. Rotation of staff and working from home measures have been implemented. On the business front, customers in the hard-hit sectors of the economy have been supported with concessionary rates and moratorium on interest and principal on loan repayments. The board has put in place a framework that prioritizes capital expenditure, taking account of the COVID-19 pandemic. An aggressive program to grow our business in key identified areas has been implemented, particularly in electronic banking products. I will now turn to our business performance. During the year, ladies and gentlemen, we placed emphasis on growing our balance sheet and diversifying our income base. This strategy was backed by a robust risk management framework and a solid agenda for resourcing our internal audit and strengthening our combined assurance functions. We recorded yet another significant growth in profit before tax of 573.67 million Ghana cedis from 450.17 million the previous year, representing a 27.4% increase. The impressive financial performance was driven by solid revenue growth. Net interest income was up 20.8% from 967 million to 1.168 billion. Net trading income went up by 57.3% to 141.75 million from 90.14 million, whilst net fees and commissions income also increased by 22.2% to 241.5 million from 197.60 million the previous year. Our performance notwithstanding, ladies and gentlemen, we still have huge challenges in the management of our operational costs. Our cost-to-income ratio only decreased marginally to 59.1% from 60.5% in 2018, and it is still above the industry average of 50.1%. The board has stepped up interventions to control costs. These include a project to evaluate the cost-benefit of our assets in real estate and its impact on profitability, and a review of our procurement framework to focus on value for money. On the balance sheet, our total assets recorded a growth of 16.8% from 10.72 billion in 2018 to 12.52 billion cedis in 2019. Total deposits also went up by 18.4% to 9.82 billion in 2019 from 8.3 billion in 2018. The bank's equity recorded a growth of 22.8% from 1.45 billion to 1.78 billion in 2019. Earnings per share increased by 31.7% from 1.23 to 1.62 cedis. The capital adequacy ratio of your bank as at the end of 2019 was 17.5%, significantly above the prudential requirement of 13%. The share price of GCB increased to 5 cedis 10 pesos at the end of 2019 from 4 cedis 60 pesos in 2018. This stood in market contrast with the performance in the share price of other banks on the stock market, as the majority of banks witnessed decline in their share prices. The strong performance in the share price of GCB was on the back of strong quarterly financial performance of the bank in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of measures to address the potential negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the solvency and liquidity of banks, the central bank has placed a temporary ban on the payment of dividends, with an option for banks wishing to pay dividends to apply to the Bank of Ghana for prior approval. I'm happy to report that following our commendable financial performance and based on the measures put in place to ensure sustainable growth, we made a request to Bank of Ghana, supported by the necessary financial documents, making the case for the payment of dividend to our shareholders. As we speak, the central bank has approved the payment of dividend to the shareholders of the bank. Accordingly, we will be recommending the payment of dividend at this meeting. The bank has reviewed its governance protocols to reflect the Bank of Ghana guidelines on governance and taken adequate steps to place emphasis on regulatory matters, risk management, and capital and liquidity management, all aimed at placing GCB on a pedestal that reflects prudent banking practices. Our board committees have been strengthened to include cybersecurity and IT governance, and a dedicated committee on G-Money and digital payment platforms has been set up. A holistic review of our organogram is being undertaken by the board to make our organizational structure strategy-driven and responsive to the objectives of the bank. Ladies and gentlemen, corporate social responsibility has been highlighted in the new Bank of Ghana guidelines, with the board having full responsibility for determining the focus and disbursement of such funds. Accordingly, the board has commenced a process to develop a policy framework that will define the basis for our contribution to the communities which we serve. Our corporate social responsibility is focused on the critical areas of health, education, environment, financial inclusion, and sports. During the year, we invested substantially in the communities that we serve. We invested a total of 10.37 million as compared to 5.62 million the previous year. Your bank has made significant strides. It has gained market share and it has carved a defensible market niche for itself. However, a lot still remains to be done to achieve our cardinal objectives and vision. Over the past years, we have set our focus on digitalization as the key to sustainable growth. We have implemented such key initiatives as our G-Money and internet banking platforms. Let me reiterate what I said last year on the impact of the telcos on our business, particularly with the unbanked sector. That is, we recognize the strategic capacity of the telcos, which provides them with the absorption capacity of customers. While this may be at the rudimentary level, the aggregate of those customers constitutes the bulk of the unbanked sector. Our emphasis remains unchanged. We view the telcos differently as potential partners along the banking spectrum. Accordingly, we shall position ourselves as funds are moved from the informal sector to the formal sector to take advantage of the growth of the new financial customers and provide them with those innovative banking products which they seek and which banks alone can provide. To enhance the credibility of our financial reporting, we are set to roll out a cost-efficient and strategy-driven enterprise risk management and enterprise resource planning systems. Going forward, banks and indeed all businesses cannot reflect adequately on the future without taking cognizance of the new normal precipitated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Our digital approach to providing services to our customers will no doubt take account of the new normal and leverage our platforms and resources to deliver value to our stakeholders. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made considerable progress in spite of the challenges. My special thanks goes to our customers and to our employees for their tremendous efforts. They have been very outstanding. Our shareholders and indeed all our stakeholders have played very supportive roles in ensuring that we remain a client-driven and innovative organization. To our shareholders, I say thank you so much. I would like to commend the commitment of my colleague directors to the objectives of the bank. Their contribution to our success has been phenomenal. I am reassured that together we will move forward to make GCB the gold standard of banking on the continent. Once again, on behalf of the board, thank you so much for the opportunity to be of service. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if at this time I can bring down the mask and have a glass of water. But since we have to proceed, I will now ask the external auditors of the bank, Messrs. Deloitte Chartered Accountants, to read their report. Their report can be found on pages 40 and 45 of the annual report. Deloitte.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, honorable shareholders physically present here, and those who have joined virtually, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you greetings from the Deloitte fraternity, and we want to say a big thank you to the board and shareholders for the opportunity given to Deloitte to be of service to the bank. We are so grateful and thankful to be associated with such a great institution. Mr. Chairman, if you permit me, our report runs over about 6 pages. If you permit me, I'll read the opinion, the basis of the opinion, and the report and other legal and regulatory requirements. Report on the audit of the consolidated and separate financial statements. Our opinion. Mr. Chairman, we have audited the consolidated and separate financial statements of GCB Bank Limited, set out on pages 46 to 134, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2019, and the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, and statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and notes to the consolidated and separate financial statements, including a summary of significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the consolidated and separate financial statements present fairly, in all material respects, the financial position of GCB Bank Limited as at 31st December 2019, and of its financial performance and cash flows for the year then ended, in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards and the requirements of the Companies Code, Companies Act 2019, Act 992, and the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2006, Act 930. Basis of our opinion, Mr. Chairman, we conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibility for the audit of the financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the group in accordance with the requirements of the International Federation of Accountants Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independent Standards, issued by the International Ethics and Standards Board for Accountants, and we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for the opinion we just presented. Mr. Chairman, I continue with the report on other legal and regulatory requirements. In accordance with the 7th schedule of the Companies Act 2019, Act 992, we expressly state the following. 1. We have obtained the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the group so far as appears from our examination of those books. The information and explanations given or provided to us were in the manner required by Act 992 and give a true and fair view of the following. A. Statement of financial position of the group at the end of the financial year, and B. Statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the year. The group accounts have been properly prepared in accordance with Act 992 to give a true and fair view of the state of affairs and the profit or loss of the company and its subsidiaries. The group's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the accounting records and returns. We confirm that we are independent of the group pursuant to Section 143 of Act 992. The Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2016, Act 930, Section 85, subsection 2, requires that we state certain matters in our report. We hereby state the following. The accounts give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the bank and the results of its operations for the period under review. We obtain all the information and explanations required for the efficient performance of our audit. The transactions of the bank were within its powers. In our opinion, the bank has generally complied with the provisions of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2008, Act 749, the Anti-Terrorism Act 2008, Act 762, and the regulations made by this enactment. And last but not the least, except as disclosed in Note 6E relating to statutory breaches, the bank has generally complied with the provisions of the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act 2016, Act 930. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, shareholders, the audit partner in charge of the audit, which resulted in this independent auditor's report, is Mr. Daniel Kojo Usu, with ICAG Practicing Certificate number 1327. The report was signed on behalf of Deloitte & Touche on 31st day of March 2020. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, Deloitte & Touche. We will now move on. The 2019 annual report, which includes the accounts and report of the directors, have been published on the bank's website for the past 21 days. With your permission, I will take them as read. As is usually done, the procedure is to ask a shareholder to move and another to second the motion after each motion is proposed. There will also be an opportunity to ask questions, after which the motion will be put to the meeting. I shall be grateful if questions which relate directly to the motion on the floor are asked. Members who wish to ask a question or make a comment or second the motion should please use the microphone at the podium or use the chat box to make submissions. Please mention your name clearly before you make your submission. We estimate about 2 minutes before putting each resolution to vote. I shall now call on a representative from the Corporate Affairs Department of the bank to explain the voting procedure to shareholders.
Good morning. Morning. The procedures for joining the virtual AGM, if you are watching us live on Facebook, there are 2 simple steps to join. You log on to www.gcbbankagm.com, and then you are asked to type in your token number. It is a 4-digit unique token number, which I believe most of us have received. And then the second step too, there's a step to second the motion, comment or ask questions. The first step, A, click the chat as guest button, which is situated on the right or bottom side of your screen. Type in your name and company in the space provided. Tick the box to accept the terms and conditions. Type and submit your questions and comments as you wish. In steps to vote on a resolution, there are 2 options to enable you to vote in real time. Option 1, voting via the online platform. Locate the vote box on the bottom of your broadcast screen and follow these steps. A, enter the unique token number that you use to join the meeting via the website. Click on the box labeled Cast Your Vote. Once you have done this, you will see a list of the resolutions to be voted for. Follow the voting process by clicking the plus sign and then select your voting option, either for, against, or abstain. I'll take that again. Follow the voting process by clicking the plus sign and then select your voting option for, against, or abstain. Option 2 involves voting for via a short code. You can dial *899*3#. Dial *899*3# on your mobile phone. Enter the unique token number you use to join the meeting, and then select your voting option and send. The short code again is *899*3#, and join the virtual AGM as it's ongoing to submit your comments and questions as we are ongoing. And the annual report is also available on the bank's website, www.gcbbank.com.gh, and go to downloads, you find it there. Or you can contact our WhatsApp number 0202-422-422, and it will be sent to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Very well, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now proceed to put the resolutions before you for your vote. The first item on the agenda is to receive and adopt the financial statements of the company for the year ended December 31st, 2019, together with the reports of the directors and auditors thereon. I hereby propose that the financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2019 and the report of the directors and auditors thereon submitted to the meeting be received and adopted. will a shareholder please move the motion?
Mr. Chairman, good morning, everybody. My name is As George, the President of the Association of Shareholders in the Stock Market. I second the motion, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Move the motion. Yeah. Can a shareholder please second the motion moved by Mr. George?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Jonathan Cuefio, Mexico. I have a comment to make, but not now. I'll come back. I second it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Before we put the motion, which was moved by Mr. George and seconded by Mr. Mexico, can we please have a little bit of time for comments on the motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is again Jonathan Cuefio, Mexico. Let me be frank with you to express my wonderful reception that was given to me from the gate to this meeting, and the beautiful settings which have been decorated in this very room, which you always pass to some offices. In your report, I got two important messages to share with you. This is all about congratulations. First, let me congratulate you for this new Papanaba Chatham, and I'm appealing to Ghanaians that Papanaba is your Chatham. Number two, I want to frank to tell you again that this bank is a bank of courage, a bank of conscience, a bank of compassion, and above all, commitment. Because without commercial bank, poor guys on the street cannot get loans, cannot be supported. Coming back to COVID-19, I was impressed when I went to Usher Town to see a beautiful edifice which commercial bank has produced and given to us at Bukom. I'm so much impressed about that. I had an opportunity also, Mr. Chairman, to visit Kolebu, and I tell you what I saw with Ghana Commercial Bank, and even Ama here. Your water tank is great. May God bless you and keep you. May God continue to give you all the commitment and courage. You are great. I'm done. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the opportunity to share a few things with you. I just want to express the sentiments of the earlier speaker. You've really done wonderfully well. In spite of the competitions, the banking setup, and business generally, you've really done a yeoman's job. Congratulations to the board and management and even the staff of Commercial Bank. Thank you so much once more. The only other thing I want to look at, in fact, it's even been highlighted by the chairman already. That's about your operational cost. Let us look at it seriously and bring them down so that there will be enough money for us. Next time when we meet, it will be all smiles on everybody's faces. Thank you also for the dividend, but we would have asked for more actually, but you've done well. That is okay, but next time we would like it to be tripled, and we pray that you will really do the work and do that for us. Thank you so much. And then my last word is about the work of the hackers. The hackers are at it again. It was in the papers all over. I know you put in some sort of measures to do that, But all I want to say is that this is just a wake-up call again. Try to strengthen your measures, tighten up the nooks and crannies, so we will not lose any money. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any more comments before we put the... Who is going to alert me? Say the name or put the message. Very well, thank you very much. There being no further comments, I declare voting open for shareholders to vote on the resolution. So we are doing it. This is very interesting digitalization, where voting is going on and the chairman can't see.
1 minute more to stop voting. It's small, but voting has ended now. And here are the results of the voting. 102 shareholders voted for, 0 voted against, and 0 abstained. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. From the results, I declare the motion carried. Thank you very much. Can we move on to the second item on the agenda? That is the declaration of a dividend. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned in my report, we have already obtained approval from the Bank of Ghana for the payment of dividend to our shareholders. Accordingly, pursuant to the third schedule of Section 30 and 33 of the Companies Act 2019, Act 992, I hereby propose a final dividend of 20 pesos per share, totaling 53 million cedis in respect of the financial year ended 31st December 2019. This dividend will be payable on Friday, the 14th of August 2020 to all shareholders registered in the books of the company as at close of business on Friday, the 17th of July 2020. Will a shareholder please move for the motion on declaration of dividend payments?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Samson Ashon. I move that the dividend of 20 pesos for the year ended December 31st, 2019 be accepted.
Thank you very much. Can we please have a shareholder second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is James Tej. I second the motion.
Thank you so much. Are there any comments from shareholders before we put the motion to vote? So we can go on there. So there being no comments, may I please call for the vote to commence? No, it's on my account. It's okay. I don't have to. And they counting.
Mr. Chairman, there's a question from Sambedi Akua Santi. He said that vis-a-vis the profit made, the dividend declared is woefully inadequate.
Very well. Thank you very much. I think the point is well observed. But you will recall, as I said earlier, that the central bank itself placed a ban on the payment of dividends because it was taking a forward-looking approach to the potential effects of the COVID-19. You notice that profits will decline, the economy itself is shrinking, and there was general concern of what could happen to the overall banking sector. But your bank was able to demonstrate its resilience through its financials. And that is why we're allowed to pay this dividend. We take the point seriously. And as another shareholder has pointed out, we have put in place measures to beat this pandemic. And we trust that based on the measures put in place, we probably would be in a better position next year to tell a better story. Thank you.
Okay, 1 minute to stop voting. Okay. Voting has ended, and here are the results. 118 voted for, 0 voted against, and 2 abstained. 3 abstained. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you very much. On the basis of the declared results, I declare the motion carried. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now move on to the next item on the agenda. That is to re-elect directors retiring by rotation. May I clarify that we will record each director as a single, as one resolution. However, to save time, we would not go through each one. So I would crave your indulgence for us to accept that the movers and the seconders of the motion for one will be deemed to have moved for all 4, which is before us. So thank you very much. So in accordance with the regulations of the Companies Section 325 and of the Companies Act 2019, 4 members of the board will retire by rotation, but are eligible to be re-elected. The following 4 non-executive directors, retiring by rotation and being eligible, have consented and are offering themselves for re-election. They are Mr. Francis Arthur Collins, Mr. Osmani Ayuba, and Mr. Edward Prince Amwetia Young. Can we please have the pictures of these directors one by one? We just saw Mr. Arthur Collins. Now we have Alhaji Alasan Yakubu. And that is Mr. Osmani Ayuba and Mr. Edward Prince Amwetia Young. So, ladies and gentlemen, can we please have a shareholder move for the separate elections of the 4 directors, Mr. Francis Arthur Collins, Mr. Osmani Ayuba, Alhaji Alhassan Yakubu, and Mr. Edward Prince Amwetia Young.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Jonathan Kwefio, Mexico. In order to save time, like you said, I would like to move that these 4 beautiful, these 4 handsome gentlemen who have worked so hard together with you for your commitment, your consciousness, your compassion, may we accept them to continue to work for this great bank. I'm done, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can a shareholder please second this motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Robert Aluti, a shareholder. I second the motion.
Thank you so much. Are there any comments before we put the motion to a vote? Thank you so much. I now put the motion to the meeting for voting. say, each one of the book one. So we are doing for all. You understand? Amma, that is what I was telling you. Say, you record. No, it doesn't matter. You will tell them that the same person who moved and seconded has moved and seconded for all four. Please, just get them to know it, right? That's all. Systems don't run companies. This is the thing. Until then, it's a resolution that moved by the same person, seconded by the same person, and the same votes. That's all.
Okay. 1 minute to stop voting. Okay. Voting stops now. And here are the results. 102 voted for, 3 voted against, and 3 abstained. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Based on the results, I declare the resolutions for the reappointment of the 4 directors duly carried. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to the re-election of directors under the Bank of Ghana Corporate Governance Directive 2018. The Bank of Ghana Corporate Governance Directive, Transitional Provisions Section 51A and 45, prescribe that the board chair shall be proposed for re-election within the maximum tenure of 2 terms, consisting of 3 years per term. The non-executive directors shall have a maximum tenure of 3 terms of 3-year terms, 3 years per term. The board chairman, Mr. Jude Arthur, and the underlisted directors, Mrs. Lydia Essa, Mr. Nick Amatefio, and Nanama Ayensua Sarah, have offered themselves for re-election. But ladies and gentlemen, since this resolution has to do the re-election first of Mr. Jude Arthur, I will hand over this particular one to my colleague on the board, Mr. Ray Ankra, for him to carry on the re-election of Mr. Jude Arthur, after which, hopefully, if he hands over, I shall return.
Thank you very much. I'm going to enjoy every second of this. It's not very often that you get appointed as a chairman, so there you go. The first director is Jude Arthur, and at the end of his first tenure being eligible, has consented and is offering himself for re-election B, and is hereby elected as chairman and non-executive director of the bank. Will a shareholder please move the motion?
Okay,
So can
virtually.
a shareholder please second the motion?
Something as shown is a name, a shareholder. I support the motion.
I now put the motion to the meeting for voting. Voting starts now.
One minute more to stop voting. Voting ends now, and here are the results. 103 voted for, 3 voted against, and 1 abstained. Thank you.
Thank you. So in my capacity as the acting chairman, soon to hand over, I declare the motion carried. A quick handover to the chairman.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Are we taking these one by one or going through the whole? Let's go through all. One, two, three, yeah. The second motion, as we agreed for the sake of time, will be for the re-election of Mrs. Lydia Essa, Mr. Nick Amatefu, and Nana Ama Ayensua Sarah. Will a shareholder please move for the motion?
Mr. Chairman, for short, these great men on the board, we do not need to worry them. We should rather encourage them. I therefore second the motion that they should continue to be on the board.
Move.
I said I've moved that they should still be on the board because of their commitment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Will a shareholder please second the motion for the 3 directors?
Mr. Chairman, my name is James Tay. I second the motion.
Let me put it straight to vote. I now put the motion for the 3 directors, Mr. Nick Amatefu, Mrs. Lydia Essa, and Nana Ayensua Sarah III to the meeting for voting.
Okay. 1 minute to stop voting. Voting closes now, and here are the results. 105 voted for, 3 voted against, and 1 abstained. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On the basis of the declared results, I declare the resolution re-electing the 3 directors, Mr. Nekamate Fio, Nana Ama Ayesua Sarah III, and Mrs. Lydia Esa, duly carried. Thank you very much. I now move on to the final resolution on the agenda, that is to authorize the directors to determine the fees of the auditors. I hereby propose that the directors be mandated to determine the fees of the auditors in respect of the period ending at the conclusion of the next annual general meeting. Will a shareholder please move for the motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is George. I propose that the auditors should fix the remuneration of the auditors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can a shareholder please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Samson Ashon. I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Are there any comments from members before the motion is put to a vote? There being no comments, I now put the motion to the meeting for voting.
Okay. 1 minute to stop voting, please. Voting ends now. And here are the results. 111 voted for, 5 voted against, and 1 abstained. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On the basis of the results, I declare the motion duly carried. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are coming to the close of this year's annual general meeting. Before then, I would like to make a few corrections and announcements. I think you'll recall that when we were introducing the directors, we had Mr. Ray Anselm Soa, Mr. Socrates Afram, Mrs. Lydia Essa, Mr. Nekamate Fiu, Nanama Ayensua Sarah III, Mr. Francis Arthur Collins, Mr. Ray Ankra, and then inadvertently we couldn't find the names of the 3, but to confirm, they are there Mr. Osmani Ayuba, Mr. Edward Prince Amweti Ayong, and Alhaji Alhassan Yakubu are all directors of this bank. I also would wish to announce to you that we have with us Mr. Samuel Amankwa, who was our former Deputy Managing Director Operations of the bank. Mr. Amankwa retired from the bank this year. I would also like to announce that Mr. Ray Soa, our current Managing Director, at the end of his tenure with this bank, will be leaving the bank, and it is our duty to report to you that Mr. Ray Soa will be leaving the bank shortly after the AGM this year. I would like to say, however, that Mr. Ray Soa has performed creditably in his role as Managing Director. On behalf of the board and management, and indeed all the staff, I would like to say a big thank you to Mr. Ray Soa for his dedicated service during the tenure of his office. We wish him God's blessings in all his future endeavors. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I would like to thank all the shareholders who have attended personally and those who have joined us virtually for making this meeting a success. I now declare the meeting. Yes, please. Please, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I do not know where tears came from me when you make the last announcement. In fact, I'm overwhelmed, at the same time, sad. But I want to wish these 2 gentlemen a blissful retirement from this bank, because their tenure has really brought a lot of change in the life of this banking system. Mr. Soa, my brother, you, I can't oh yeah, since no walk about Kobaya. Mr. Amankwa, I cannot speak the Cree very well, but I care work. Finally, Mr. Chairman, we cannot live here without wishing our Muslim brothers who are celebrating their special occasion tomorrow. I wish them Parik Sana. Thank you very much. This meeting has been very successful. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. This has been a very appropriate ending to this meeting. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. Ladies and gentlemen, I now hereby declare the meeting formally closed. So at this point, can we please have the closing prayer?
Father, we asked in the beginning that you join us, and you did absolutely that. So to you, we say a big thank you. Everlasting Father, I pray, O Lord, that you grant the directors, the management, wisdom again beyond that of Solomon, that they will be able to synthesize all the ideas that we had here, that the bank will move from grace to grace and from progress to progress. Father, we are living here, but we are not leaving your presence. We pray that your presence will continue to be with us, wherever we'll move to, protect us, guide us, direct us, that next year we will meet at a bigger gathering, maybe not with COVID, but with a free COVID-free time. Then we will enjoy and say glory, hallelujah to your wonderful name. Thank you, Lord, for all that you have done. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. What do you have for the show? There's nothing.
You're most welcome to a new era of banking at GCB Bank, where there are no long queues at the bank. Because you can enjoy swift access to your account anywhere, anytime with GCB e-banking solutions. Experience a world where you have financial convenience from a bank with integrity. A world where you can focus on your business and trust us to provide you with limitless business banking solutions that will take you to new heights. When you need a loan, sooner is better than later. So we give it to you in 24 hours to make sure the experience is memorable. Whatever you need, sir, we have an exceptional team of diverse professionals ready to serve you with a smile. Trust us with your money. We are bigger, better, safe, and ready to take you places beyond banking.
GCB Bank, your bank for life.
GCB Bank has the largest footfall across the land. We cover north, south, west and east. And this gives us the opportunity to observe the country in a way that no one else can boast of doing. We also are looking at opportunities not only in Ghana, but outside the shores of Ghana. We are interested in going to West Africa and perhaps into Europe, into Asia, and into America. We do hope that this would give GCB brand a name recognition second to none. We are looking at opportunities within the pension space, insurance space, custodial services, mortgage financing, and investment banking. These are broad brushes, but we are almost done with providing products to our customers in these various areas. The bank is certainly very well resourced. As you do know, we recently acquired 2 institutions and we have gained from them a workforce which has the ability, and together we believe that we can build a GCB which is very fresh for our customer base. This year we have focused on health. We have opened a female orthopedic ward. We have opened a dialysis unit. We have donated a lot of medical equipment to various hospitals across the country. We believe in the Latin creed, mens sana in corpore sano, a sound mind and a sound body. And therefore we believe that our people need to be fit and well to be able to prosecute the agenda of nation building. So we will continue to support the communities in whichever way we can. We have started with health, but we touch the ground every day. And in various little ways, we make an impact on the lives of our people. As a person from the diaspora, I wish to tell all my fellow diasporans that Ghana needs you, and Ghana will welcome you to help in lifting our nation beyond aid. It is so important that we get our nation beyond aid.